All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to start with some quick intros. My name is Megan Warmond. I'm a senior here at Texas A&M, and I'm from Fredericksburg, Texas.
Hi guys, my name's Samuel Belt, and I'm a senior as well, and I'm from Gatesville, Texas.
Hi everybody, my name is Brandon French. I'm from Nacogdoches, Texas, and I'm also a senior here, majoring in agricultural communications and agricultural leadership and development.
My name is Alex Wilson. I'm from Canyon, Texas, and I'm a junior majoring in AgCom.
Hi everyone, my name is Shannon Harkey and I'm from Lubbock, Texas. I'm majoring in agricultural communications and journalism.
All right, I believe we have some questions to go over. Who wants to start it off? Shannon, will you read out our first question for those of us that can't see? No. Okay, so how does the camera shape the way that we see stories about food, people, and the environment? What do y'all think?
I think a big food thing is like food commercials and stuff, whether it's on the farm as like row crops and farming and that kind of stuff, or if it's something as simple as like a McDonald's commercial, or maybe something a little healthier of a commercial, like something you think is really good and like they can make it look healthy or make it look different than what it actually is. And I think that photography and the way we see things through that lens can be a lot different than what it looks like in person.
Yeah, so like framing, literally, and how we look at it.
Well, it's even like a lot of people don't even understand what agriculture is or like what it includes. So people being willing to either do like a podcast or like take photos and being willing to advocate for the industry really helps this industry out and really allows people to understand what agriculture truly is and the job opportunities that can come from it, as well as like you said through like the commercials or whatever of the food. The successful framing of those items allows for the public to understand like this is agriculture and this is what agriculture creates, and without it you wouldn't be here.
Do y'all think that people from like a non-ag background see, I don't know, images of food and like produce that we see on the shelves differently than maybe someone who grew up like growing crops on a farm?
Yes, I definitely think so because it's different whenever you're growing up and you know kind of the background, farm to table style, where it came from, who's growing it and everything like that. But for people who aren't in the industry and they don't know kind of what that process looks like, definitely someone's going to look at that different than we do.
And you come from a farming background, right? Tell me a little bit about that. What does
Yes,
that look
Megan.
like?
I'm from Lubbock, like I said, and my family, we're cotton farmers out there. So we've done that for a long time. It's something that has been in my family for generations. And so just seeing kind of how my brother stepped into the role, it's influenced how I see agriculture now because it's like, okay, well, we're the new generation. We can step up to the plate and kind of make ag what it is today and in the future. So.
Yeah. We ready to move on to our next question? Okay. Okay, so what stories about farmers, workers, or producers often go unseen, and how can we use media to highlight them?
I think it's usually just the day-to-day things of what it actually looks like to work in this industry versus the finished product, or I think sometimes people see agriculture as like the cowboy or like farmer, rancher, and just kind of those big icons, but of more of just like the day-to-day things and the ins and outs. And I think that social media is a really big way to get that out there because people are able to see more of through like agriculture influencers, more of what they're doing and the steps that they're taking every single day to produce their final product.
Yeah. So tell me, what types of content could we use to highlight that? Because, it's not something that we see on our For You pages. If we do see something like that, it might be the more like interesting, like rodeo or cowboys, kind of like you were saying. But the everyday work of like a farmer, for instance, how could we utilize social media or different types of content to kind of bring that to people's eyes?
I know one thing that's kind of gained a little bit of popularity is farmers and ranchers doing like their days in the life so people can just kind of see them as a real person. When I was like younger in like 6th grade through like high school, I had this ag advocacy page and I would just post things of like me like working with my animals and stuff. And it was a project that I was doing, but I usually got more interaction when it was people were able to see what I was doing on like the daily, or like I'm going to like the store and this is how you can see like path to the plate and things like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like farm to table is also something that like I'm passionate about because like I want to have my own restaurant whenever I graduate and all of that. So I for sure think like that's a good way of being able to extend outreach of like what farmers and ranchers do with their daily lives. So
That's awesome. So you want to do a farm to table type
yeah,
style
for sure.
restaurant?
Like,
Okay.
have a big piece of property, which like obviously with the economy right now, it's going to be very expensive, so it's going to have to be later on. But you have a big piece of property, and like on it, you have like a vineyard, or you have like a few vegetable plots and everything, and like you get some of those that produce, or like let's say like from the vineyard, you make your own wine, and you bring it in, and you make your own product out of it. And I feel like that's a good way of being able to like exemplify what agriculture is, and like the hard work and determination, as well as knowing where your food actually comes from.
Yeah, kind of telling the story to each and every person that would come into your restaurant. So have you heard of Ronin? That we had like a little farm to table restaurant here in College Station. I think it got closed down recently. But that's a really good way to show the hard work behind, you know, a plate of food in front of you and what it took to put that there and who put it there. So really cool. Yeah. All right, I guess we can move on. Let's.
Right quick,
Yeah.
why don't we move on to a commercial break? And come back?
That sounds good.
Yeah.